It's time for a visit with a person of high strangeness. Earlier in the year, I must have been in, I think it was in April, I went on the road with a couple of the young friends, and we taped a lot of shows for you. Now, one of the first stops there was at Kanashibushan house in Roslyn, Washington. And at that time I asked her if she wanted to go with us on the trip, and yeah, she said, well, I'm a little busy and I'm a little tired. And I said, well, how come you're tired? And she says, well, it's like this, I bought you a dress and I'm tired. And so I said, why would buying me a dress make you tired? And she said, just look at it. And I said, it's beautiful. Where did you get it? And she says, well, I went to Egypt. I sort of made that up, but it sounds real good.
Yeah, it does. Almost had me convinced.
Had you convinced. So anyway, my friend Kanashibushan went all the way to Egypt, and today is the day where we're going to talk about her trip. And if you remember, the year prior we had to do the predictions really early because she went to Egypt in November. So without any further delay, we're going to say hi to Kanashibushan. How are you, my friend?
Well, I'm not tired.
You're not tired today?
No, I'm not tired today.
That's
I'm
good.
fine.
That was a good story, wasn't it?
You almost had me convinced. I was trying to think, what? You really? I said, I don't remember that, but
yeah.
My memory's not as good as it used to be anyway. So that really surprised me. You had me convinced.
Did I? Well,
You're
good.
A good girl.
Yeah. So here's my beautiful dress that came all the way from Egypt.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like it. It was wonderful. The trip was wonderful. I went with 2 daughters, and my oldest daughter, Nefertari, was the one who paid my way. But I'd like to tell a little story before that, because unknown to my daughter, I, about 4 months before, decided I was going to Egypt. Now, living on Social Security, I didn't doubt that I was going, so what I did, I went and bought an outfit with the Egyptian scripts and things all on the front of the jacket on the shopping channel in order to really make my mind think I was going to go.
Go to Egypt.
And about 3 months later, I was just sitting there doing something. My daughter called me. She says, Mom, do you want to go to Egypt? I about fainted.
Yeah.
And I said, well, yeah. Well, how am I going to get there? I don't have any money. She said, well, Mom, I was thinking I wanted to go to France or Egypt, and I wanted to take you one of the places. Where would you like to go? And so I said, well, I want to go to Egypt. And she said, okay.
Yeah. Now, we've known each other, I would say, 20 plus years.
Yeah, 20 plus.
Yeah. And all through that time, I know you always wanted to go to Egypt.
Always, since I was a little girl.
Yeah.
First time I read about it, about 6.
Did that give you a little closure now that you've been?
No, because I want to go back.
You want to go back,
I just think I just touched the surface of it, not even touched the surface so much, but it gave me an awareness of my cultural background on a level, and my daughters too felt it when we got there.
Well, we're going to play a clip here in a few minutes, and where they show us how to make
papyrus.
Papyrus. And in there, the young man, you'll see it in the clip, he asked her for her name.
Yes.
And you can just see his face light up, like he had there was a recognition when she gave the name.
It said Nefertari. Yeah, so I just felt, we all felt like we went home. Just when we stepped on that continent of Africa, that we finally got back home. That was the feeling.
Now, I'd like to point out something to you. Now, a lot of people, when you say Egypt, they think Middle East.
Yes.
Not true.
No, Africa.
Egypt is Africa. It's on the African continent. Yeah, so I'm glad you mentioned that.
Well, one of the reasons I wondered for many years how people could look at people from Egypt and think, well, it's not part of Africa. But I think the reason might be is because we're in northern Africa, and the skin tone of the citizens is very much different. Than the lower part of Africa, which is very darker like my skin tone. And I think that's how they make their mistake.
Yeah.
They just don't relate to the color, you see.
Yeah.
Because as I looked at the people, I don't say I related to the color at all, because they were so much fairer than I was.
Yeah.
But when I went to the museum, and I'm so sorry, I looked for that tape and looked for that tape, because one of the things that we found in the museum that really made us really connect was, it was a picture of, I thought it was a wig. But it wasn't. It was hair from the southern Egyptians,
The
not
Nubians.
Africa, but the Nubians. And their hair was extremely curly like mine when I didn't straighten it or perm it. And it had these little tiny braids coming out of it, like my grandkids wear now.
Right.
That was something. And maybe sometime I can give you the picture and we can put it on. It was fascinating. Because I said, is that a wig, to the gentleman that we had paid to, escort us around and tell us? He said, no, that's the real hair. I said, it can't be. But it was.
Yeah. Now, scientifically, here's another connection: sickle cell anemia.
Yes.
That modern-day Afro-American, that's our culture here, that originated in Egypt about 5,000 years ago. And what it was an extra gene that they needed to protect themselves from malaria.
That's right.
And then, over the years, it just sort of so on and so on. So that's another way how we can
connect
Egypt to modern day Africa. Yeah. Now, so you came to Olympia and you brought a lot of footage from your Egypt trip.
Yes.
And so I want to tell you the story here. What happens is she kept this wonderful footage that looked really good to us.
Yes.
Because it was personal stories. And so out of the 49 minutes, we saved, I think it's 6 minutes and 14 seconds. Yeah. And the reason it came out like that was that you had asked your guide to film.
To film for us, for pictures.
Yeah, and of course
he didn't know what
said,
he was doing.
Sure. Well, yeah, but he had the camcorder and he just
what he wanted.
He just went back and forth like this, and he knew you was going home.
I never thought about that till you mentioned that, but that's
what
true.
Are you going to do about it?
Nothing.
Yeah. And so I guess it might be a good way to let you know that if you want to take video footage, do it yourself.
Yes. Because I do know how to move slower, and also I think maybe been helpful if I took some still pictures, which I didn't.
Still pictures are good, yeah. But anyway, so I got the grand tour of the video that you brought, and one of the things that, now I had seen one of the stones from the pyramid. Someone had showed it to me.
Oh, okay.
And so I knew the color and the texture I have felt, And then, of course, having my grandmother being Egyptian, I guess we just know stuff like that. But what was so surprising to me was that Egypt didn't look at all like what you see in the magazines.
That's true.
At all. Yeah.
Now that was a surprise to me. The pyramids, it wasn't nothing like what the postcards look like, the books look like. The pyramids were very, very different.
Yeah.
You could see where wind, rain, and the weather had eroded part of it, a lot of it. The rocks on the ground and coming down. So that was a surprise, but they were still magnificent.
They were, yeah. So what we did is late last night, we put this miracle footage together for you.
Did a miracle job.
A miracle job, yeah. And we like the sound with that insert, and then you very briefly, every once in a while, because of the heavy accents in which the English was
spoken.
Yeah, so you might have to add a little bit there at the time.
You may not be able to understand some of it.
Yeah, and so we're just going to show you, when we get to the insert from Egypt with a low audio, and then you can tell us some things, and maybe we can enjoy the wind and the things that you saw.
Just let me know when, if you want me to.
Including the shoes. You started off with
Well, we went to Amsterdam to change airplanes. And there we were supposed to meet, my other daughter in Detroit. But they had a tornado. So she couldn't meet us, and we didn't know. We couldn't get hold of her at all. So we went on to Amsterdam and to Cairo, Egypt. It was Cairo we went to. And in Amsterdam, we had 8-hour layover. And that's where I went and took footage, which I had a lot more footage of houses and stuff I didn't bring. And the dikes. I had a lot of footage, but I didn't know you wanted that, so I didn't bring it. And it might have been moving too fast because I was in a car, and that man was really driving fast. But so that's how when we went to Amsterdam, we went first to just see the dikes, and the second thing we went and saw this place where they made wooden shoes.
Yeah, now we have an international reporter now, CK.
Oh, okay.
And so she's going to send stories from Amsterdam.
That'll be wonderful.
To
so
let
that'll
people
take care
know
of that.
most streets are waterways and things like that.
But we did get to see where Anne Frank lived.
Did you? The Anne
Yes,
Frank house?
but when I took the video, he moved too fast past the door, so I couldn't catch it. Just a little small door in this big building, and so I couldn't get the video of that, but we saw that.
So how long were you in Amsterdam?
8 hours.
Oh, 8 hours. Yeah, that's
And we went on a tour for about 2.5 hours.
Lost your mic. Let me do that for you.
I move around quite a bit.
You did.
Yeah, I'm trying to be still. I'm kind of...
Okay, just a minute. Quit talking. We can't
Okay.
hear you here. Did you go, by any chance, go to a place called Scheveningen or the Keukenhof?
A what?
Keukenhof, that's a place where they have tulips?
No. No, it didn't include that at all, no. And then the tulips might not be there in November.
In November, yeah.
It was in November. It was
Yeah.
cool.
It was cold, yeah.
But we went to a lot of the... one thing that was really interesting is they use so many bicycles.
Yeah.
And they have wrecks all over the town for the bicycles.
That's one of the things that they're famous for, that and wooden shoes.
Yeah, I didn't know they were famous for bicycles.
Yeah.
And then they had a lot of houseboats along the dikes. Not the dikes, but the canals in the town of Amsterdam. And the prices of those houseboats were unbelievable. The price there is very high.
At a very young time in my life, I went there, and I remember the steps in the houses were straight up, almost like ladder and like
Yes.
ladders. Is it ladders? Yeah, like a
Yes.
ladder, almost straight up.
And they're also so narrow that if I'd have brought one of the pictures, it would have showed where they have to take the furniture through the windows. They have to hike them up high and put them through the windows because they cannot get them up those narrow steps.
Yeah.
So it's very true about them being very steep and very narrow.
Yeah. So, okay, now we did Amsterdam. So let's do, so then you did get to Egypt?
Yes, after we got there, almost day and some later, I think we got there on the 12th and we left on the 10th. And we got there early in the morning, about 2 o'clock. And so we'd made arrangements for a driver from the hotel. We stayed at the Hotel Sheraton out at the Giza area, which isn't far from the pyramids, and they picked us up. So we went to sleep that night, and we got up, and the next day we waited for my daughter because she hadn't got there. She got there later. We had to go get her during the day, so we didn't get to go to the pyramids till the next day, which was about the 14th. It was a 10-day holiday, but it wasn't really because we spent 4 in the air, almost, 2 days back and forth, so we had 6. But it was a beautiful hotel. There's a story there. The hotel was huge, about 250 rooms. But long, long time ago, it had belonged to a sheik. And it had a beautiful, beautiful energy, I thought of when I think of sheiks and beautiful belly dancing and all that. You could harems, you could feel it. It was really nice.
Yeah.
But we also got there during Ramadan.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what the problem is with the insert. Do we have a problem with an insert? We don't? Okay. Okay, well, anytime we're ready for the insert, so we can call.
Okay.
I'm on a different time zone here, like 11 hours ahead of myself or something. Yeah. And you can, Ramadan, you can actually hear the people praying.
Yes. I haven't got it quite straight there.
Yeah, take it in. I guess we missed the shoes. Yeah, ladies, talking about the shoes. In Amsterdam, the wooden shoes.
Oh, he's got mixed up. Huh?
Yeah, I don't know what the problem is here. We seem to have a challenge here. And that's our control room. And how wonderful. There he goes. Genius as he is, Bernie. This is the man that explains
how they turn the papyrus into paper.
Yeah, let me get my head out of the picture here. He explains how you make the papyrus. Do you remember what he said?
Yes. He takes the papyrus plant and he cuts the stalk, which he's doing right there, and peeling it. And he's going to give it to my daughter to see if she can break it, which she won't be able to do.
Yeah, and then...
See it? There he's going to show her the test of strength and how it's so strong that you can't break it. And that's what he's saying now, how strong are you? And she says, I'm strong. He says, well, see if you can break it. She says, I can do it. And so she tries. That's my daughter Nefertari.
Yeah, and he says if you break it,
I'll give you one of
prize.
the. Yeah, there'll be one of the beautiful paintings on the papyrus behind him.
Yeah.
Which he knew she couldn't do.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. I knew she couldn't do it.
Now this gentleman actually speaks English, but he speaks very, very fast.
And with a clip, you know, I caught a clip, which means their language hooked with it. And there he's saying he's going to take it and roll it.
To get the moisture out.
Yes. And then
it's the sugar that comes out of it that becomes the glue.
Yeah, it serves as a glue. And that's what he's telling them.
To put it together.
Make it stick.
I just found it fascinating that they...
I did too.
That they were willing to, you know, to...
Well, he does that for his living, and they have... there he's taking out a piece of papyrus that had been dipped in something for 5 days.
5 days.
And it's dark brown. It's kind of much browner, you'll notice.
Yeah. So he said, so you see, he speaks really...
Fast.
Really fast.
Really too fast almost, but he has other people behind. He's going to do the same thing for us, so he's trying to get us out of the way, you know.
Yeah.
And now he's going to take it. He's going to put it between the 2 carpets. And lay one sideways, horizontal, and the other perpendicular. And then it'd be like weaving. He would do the whole thing if he's going to do the whole thing, but just does a few of them. And just explain it makes it strong. He puts the top of the carpet on the other, and he's going to put it in that press.
Yeah.
And he's going to do it for a minute, but they usually put it in there for about 10 days.
10 days, yeah. And then he said that in the olden days, the pharaohs, they would use, instead of using the
press,
they used heavy rocks.
Yes.
That's been around for thousands of years.
Now I was going to show you what would be, what happened if you did it for 10 days. And you probably could understand his language better. You seem to understand it better than I did when you went over it. Show him the strength of it. How you could roll it, and it still won't tear. Crumple it, and it'll still come back out in its form.
There's no additives added, nothing.
No.
I guess in emergency we could eat it.
You know, I should have asked that.
Next time
I bet you can.
Because it has no preservatives or anything.
It reminded me of asparagus.
Asparagus, yeah. But isn't it wonderful?
Yes. Oh, I was excited to know about that.
I have many paintings. Today's show is dedicated to our good friend Martha Barnhill, and she left us, and she gave me some of her original Egyptian art. she knew she was going to leave, so yeah.
Now this is right in the Giza Strip, right before we get ready to go up to the pyramids. It's probably a mile or 2 or 3. And that's my daughter who decided they're going to ride on the camels. I decided to ride in the little buggy, but
Yeah.
I think I wished I had rode on the camels because that was a rough ride.
Habibi means darling one.
Oh. Now this is where my daughter and the guard and the man with us is getting ready to go down in the tomb of Nicodemus' son.
What are you saying?
And I didn't go down because you got to put your foot in that hole on the left side and on the other side.
She said, what are you saying?
She was wondering what they were talking about without her understanding what they're saying because she's going down this hole with these males, you understand.
Yeah.
And she was going to make sure they weren't saying something that she couldn't deal with. That's my daughter Nefertari going down first. The guard already went down.
Wow. Is that really him?
And there they said it was the head, the skull of Nicodemus' son.
Yeah.
And the leg is there somewhere. You can't see it really well.
Yeah.
See right there is, I think that's his leg to the
Yeah.
right. And this is another tomb that we didn't go down in, but it shows how they do have them that you go way down into. That's one of the pyramids,
Yeah. No.
Giza.
Just this clip just has mine of its own. We
Yeah.
did freeze frame most
Yeah.
of it, and because it was so complicated. There you go.
And that's just some of the rock that surrounds around the pyramids. It's not a pyramid. And that's my little chariot.
Is it a donkey? Yeah.
Donkey. That's another one of the pyramids. Now here my 2 daughters are getting ready to go across the desert, which is just desert for about 5 miles.
Yeah, and there they go.
There they go.
Yeah.
The reason they have the man on the horse is so if the camels get out of whack, then they can catch them.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then this is...
Now this is, after we come down from the pyramids, it's a Sphinx down on the bottom, and you can see the little town there in front.
Yeah. I don't know what...
I don't know what happened. It was so
yeah.
still.
Okay, now this was done. This part was done on purpose. I had put it in.
Okay.
I had put it in slow motion. But you know, as we speak, Mars is the closest to the Earth as it has been in
60,000 years.
60,000 years. So it's just really interfering with equipment and things like that, because that footage was perfect last night.
It was.
Yeah, we were so proud that we had managed to save that. Now that goes back into town, or is it going out of town?
This is going back into town. And below the Sphinx, they have some kind of building they're developing there. I think it's going to be an amphitheater.
Right. Yeah, and as it comes around here.
We're going back here. We're going back to the Sphinx, like going back up to the pyramids. It's very large.
Right. So you can see it's really not out in the desert.
No.
It's just sitting.
Not too far from the town.
Yeah.
Which surprised me.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. I hadn't seen it like that.
I thought it was like miles and miles, but it wasn't.
And then here's
These are tourists, yes.
Not tourists.
They have a bus that goes up, takes them up to the pyramids, and some of them decide they want to walk down.
And then this hotel you made reference to?
The Sheraton. This is in Cairo. And Cairo, I think, has 6 million people, if I remember right.
All the roads go through there. Oh, that's that Cairo Square that was in the book.
Go back to home now.
They go home?
Yes.
To finish working?
Yes, finish working today.
Oh, they're going to work at 5 in the morning when that bell rings?
It's the government.
Government's only 5 hours.
What's the new government?
5 hours. We were quiet, so you could hear that.
Now, this is on the Nile.
Yeah, listen, notice the wind. I mean, just... Was it cold?
Yes, I had to put my coat on, a little jacket on. It was cool on the river.
And that's one of the other boats.
This is one of the boats by hand.
Yeah, I found that interesting because...
Oh, I did too.
The way
Just
it's
see it?
made.
It's
Look
so
at
fascinating.
that.
He had rocks or something on it.
It looks like it's all one piece.
It is. It's all one piece of wood. He was an older man. Looked like he's in his 60s. And here it looks like they're collecting some type of sand and ground rock, which they use to make bricks somewhere else. And they're putting them on this boat, and they're going to take it down the river to this factory.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman fishing.
Yeah.
And that's a lady with a big bundle of something on her head. I couldn't figure out what it was.
Yeah, going home with her weight on her.
And we decided to do a little dancing, and I tried to get him the fun.
That's unusual because men and women usually don't dance together. So that was for the tourists, but wonderful. And that's a mosque, you know?
Right behind the green building is a mosque. And that's the Saudi Arabian Bank. It's so big, I had a hard time getting all of it. It's the most beautiful building I saw in Cairo.
And there you have meat hanging in front of the shop.
I didn't know what kind it was, but they also have a white cloth they wrap around it to keep the flies away. This is outside of Cairo, going the opposite direction from town to the more residential area where a friend of ours lived. He was going to take us to dinner. He owned a shop at the Sheraton. He owned a jewelry shop in the town.
And it's what I found interesting too is that you have to old and new living side by side, just coexisting. Yeah.
The scenery is quite different. You get trees and palm trees further down the line. You didn't see those in town.
We haven't had any. We haven't been anywhere.
And there were rich living right next to the poor in Cairo.
They go all along here, huh?
Here they grow cabbage and other crops. Sometimes the Nile flood and it irrigates.
Irrigates the fields.
Irrigates plants.
Yeah. But I was really surprised to look at it, you know, the way you present it. And here's the dressmaker.
Yes, this is where we bought the dresses that we're wearing.
Yeah, so we're looking at your sleeve with the brocade.
Yes, I was trying to show the embroidery in the...
Who, is this the owner?
That's the owner of the shop.
Okay. Say your name so we know who you are.
The owner's on the right.
He's the owner. And this is our friend Kamal.
Kamal, that's our friend,
This is our
left.
friend Kamal.
On his way to dinner there. Stopped at his shop, bought clothes.
I understand that's the dress you wanted.
Yes, but they told me I couldn't have it.
Couldn't have it, yeah. Yeah.
Display only.
Display only, and there goes our
That was the end of that.
clip that we
That's
saved.
Yeah, but you saved quite a bit. I was shocked because, you know, it was hard too on the boat because it moved so much to take pictures where they'd be steady.
Well, yeah, that we're kind of used to. You know, one of the things about footage I like is when, I'm not sure my director agrees with this, but I like to put it in real time. That means so the people can look at it through my eyes. So if I'm on a bumpy road,
They get a
they
bumpy
get a
too.
bump. And if I hear the wind, and I can put emotions and smells
I
on.
see.
But I like the real time, the bumps and the, yeah.
So they can feel what you felt.
Yeah, and so I don't have a problem with that. It's just that when the gentleman took the footage, he just, you see what the camera sees and what we see is not
Two
the
different
same.
things.
And so for him to
Move it so fast.
to go like that is of no value.
Yeah. Because inside the tomb, before when we went inside the pyramid, there was a lot of hieroglyphics.
Yeah, we couldn't even use
And we
those.
couldn't use those, but there was beautiful. You could see them there so clear. And but the way he photographed them, we couldn't use them. But I still thank him because he was trying.
And you have the memories.
Yes,
So see
right
that,
up here.
so it doesn't really matter.
It was wonderful. Just we didn't go in all the pyramids. We just went in one.
Yeah. So
Some of them are closed.
So I appreciate that you shared some of your
Oh, I'd
memories
be glad to. I was
with
so
us,
glad
you
to
know.
get there.
Yeah.
It was like a dream. It was like a dream.
Now, being a psychic, any past life
You know, I was waiting.
recognition?
I was waiting and hoping. All I recognized was like the gentleman that we met. I knew we had been together. And the people that was in the sewing shop, I knew I had been with them. And the gentleman on the boat, I knew that my daughter and him had been together because of a situation that happened after that I'll tell you about when we're off camera. And I knew they had did this in other lifetimes. Oh yeah, it was intense. And also with my daughter, 2 daughters, something came out from their karmic past
their
lifetimes
karmic past,
together.
yeah.
Yeah. So, because we didn't meet very many people, because we were traveling a lot. And the gentleman that was my guide that was was guiding the donkey, I felt really like he'd been my son. And he called me queen. But I hope I hadn't been a queen at that time, but that's what he called me, queen, and I felt he had been my son. I felt such a very, very strong closeness to him. And the gentleman's children, Kamel, when we went to dinner, and I want you to know I did eat some camel.
Yeah.
I had camel. He had a very beautiful kind of feast for us. It looked like a feast, too. I mean, it was unbelievable how much food. And I tried some camel. Tastes like roast beef.
Yeah, I've eaten camel
And I felt
before.
I'd been with his family. We all felt like we'd been
Family.
a family together. My daughter does have a still picture of us all together, but
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that to get it because it would have been really nice because we felt we'd really. But one thing I would like to say is that even though the gentleman had quite a bit of money, Mr. Kamel, and he had a lovely house, when I went where his wash machine was, it was like going back 30 years.
Yeah, he said
Because the wash
that
machine
the
was so
duality.
old. And it probably had to do with electricity.
No, I had touched on Martha
Martha Barnhill.
at Barnhill a few minutes ago, and then the clip came up. Martha was our friend, the diplomat. She talked about the Middle East. She had been in Yemen and Tunisia, and her whole life was, if anybody had a life somewhere, it was Martha.
That's
That's
true.
where she
Yeah.
she must have been, and she had that. Sometimes the energy was real male, actually.
Yes.
You know, couldn't
Yes.
argue with Martha.
But
And
the work she did was male, too. The energy she went in was male energy where
Yeah.
she worked.
and so that's why I thought that she would have really liked.
I think she probably appreciated it.
She appreciated it, and I know she was really excited for you
I
that
know
you
she
finally
was.
got to go.
And wherever she is, I made it, Martha.
Martha,
I made
yeah.
it. And I
Yeah.
know you were there with me. We called on everybody because we were going at a time when people thought it was dangerous.
Yeah, it was. And
thought
then
it
you
was.
went to Ramadan.
And Ramadan was so interesting. Even the guard that took us down into the tomb, my
Yeah.
daughters, he couldn't wear a gun.
Yeah.
At that time, they can't even wear a gun.
Yeah.
And then another interesting thing is that they fast all day from
Yeah.
sunset,
Sunset to
rise
sundown.
to sunset.
Yeah.
And after that, they eat so heavy. And I was
Yeah.
wondering how they have a special liquid that they drink before they eat. I didn't get to taste it, but I wish I had because it adjusts their stomach so that the big amount of food does not cause cramps and things, which I
Yeah.
thought was really fascinating. They also
Excuse
don't
me.
smoke. And there I don't think it showed it, but I tried to get the sound of them praying because at my hotel I could hear the prayers of these I'm assuming males
The old man.
in the mosque 10, 15, 20 miles away praying.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was just beautiful. It made its own music. But I didn't get it well enough to show it. But it was beautiful. I sat there for an hour listening.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was fascinating. There were still people on the street. I expect there wouldn't be any men or women on the streets during this time, but life went on because it's a busy thing, and their businesses have to go on.
Yeah.
And I was telling, like I was telling you, it surprised me that the young Egyptian girls and boys were wearing American clothes and dressing American, but the young ones that went to school seemed to have uniforms. And some of the girls had just scarves around, you know, tied around
Yeah,
their
but just
I mean,
after-
tied
yeah,
around
we
their
had
head.
we had actually ordered music with the show. I don't know. I can hear. I don't know if we got music or not. In case we do, that is. I got that off the radio, and it's from Casablanca, the Cairo. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know who's.
taking care of that?
No, I don't know what station it was or anything
Oh.
like that, but. So I got that from radio.
Well, my daughter got 2 tapes from music from Cairo that was beautiful. We did go out and we listened to their music, but there was no belly dancing during Ramadan.
No.
And I didn't know that because I thought we'll get to go out and watch some original. There was none.
Yeah. Well, but they interacted with you as females quite well, I thought.
Yes, oh yes.
And some of the other shots when you were dancing on the Nile and you
Yes.
washed your face in the water, and we missed all of that.
No. But that was really special. Another thing about the Nile that surprised me, when I think about it, when I read about it, I always thought it was really narrow. And as you can see, it's really wide
Really
at places. Plus, even though the boat was noisy, it felt so serene.
Did it?
It did. That's what my daughters and man said. My other daughter said, it was like there was no noise or time stood still. It was amazing. That's one of the experiences I think I had then. It was really, really serene, going clear. We went down for an hour. But also it's surrounded, it's very, very close to Cairo. I mean, it even goes places in Cairo where the river flows now, and it's all surrounded by humans. And development.
Now, a trip like that is affordable?
Well, we lucked out. They had a special, and it was really affordable. I think it was less than $900
Per person?
round trip.
Per person?
Round trip.
Per person?
Yes.
Yeah.
But even the rooms were down because it was not tourist season.
Right.
Plus, it had a problem with what had happened around 9/11.
9/11, yeah.
So at many times, there was only about 5 of us in a 250-bed hotel. So you know it was like being waited on hand and foot because the help was bored to death. You know, there was one there.
Now, when you might hear the noise behind us, that would be the truck, our portable TCTV studio. I think they're trying to back it to the wall or something.
As long as it don't come through.
Yeah, to the wall or something. Now, I noticed you did not go in large groups. So what did they do? They assigned a guide to you?
No, we assigned a guide to ourselves. Even when we went to the museum, we hired a guide.
Did you?
Because we wanted information. He was wonderful. He knew so much about it. He's getting his doctorate degree and that type of thing. And the museum is huge. It's one of the most famous museums in the world, and it has more collection of Egyptian things than anything in the world, and it was unbelievable. One of the things that surprised me was that King Tut actually had about a 16-inch silver shower head.
A shower head?
A shower head. I mean, I found so much in there that I didn't know they had as Africans or even at that time. It was amazing.
It was a really advanced culture.
And it was 3 stories, and there's one place where the 3 stories you just go straight up. It's just clear, and they got a big statue of Ramses II, and they had a picture of, I think, King Tut's mom and dad. That's huge. I mean, about 2-3 stories high. It's amazing. They had so much amazing things there that I'm sorry I couldn't bring it. Sometime we'll just do it on the museum itself because we were there an hour, and we went slow, and I took some beautiful pictures of things that I didn't think they had. They had so much. It was wonderful. We did not go The only tour group we took was Amsterdam.
Yeah, now, I was actually heading somewhere with that. Sometimes when, as psychics, when we talk about people, when we talk about them as a guide, we can do it the hard way and do it ourselves, but isn't it so much easier just to hire a guide and say,
Yes.
take me?
Well, I thought it was safer.
Yeah?
Because I never go anywhere where I don't know where anybody's at and go out by myself. At first, maybe a couple of days later, but the man was knowledgeable. He'd been doing, the man that drove us, we hired a car for, well, about 6 days. And he took us where we could get food reasonable, and also he took us where the people were.
The people, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you didn't do
the average
thing.
people,
yeah.
Like where the shop was, they were average people. Where we got our food, it was, and there they have no hormones in the food. The chicken looked like chicken like we used to have back 50 years ago that we used to raise, and it was tasty, and then it was cheaper because he took us away from the tourist traps.
Yeah. So here in trips to Egypt or anywhere else, and in the journey of your life, get you a guide.
It was wonderful. He was so knowledgeable, and he knew what we wanted.
I'm trying to take it into the etheric here.
Okay.
The guide.
got you.
In your journey of life, hire a guide.
That's right. Or call on them.
Call on
them, and they'll take you to wonderful places that you never think you'd go. It was a wonderful experience. I hope to go back next year, but I want to go down to the Valley of the Kings, which is in Luxor. And my daughters want to go too, so we'll probably go together. It was wonderful having somebody with you to share it with. But it was wonderful. It was a wonderful trip, a dream come true, like I said. I read about it when I was 6, and I'm almost 70, so it took me 60-some years to get there, but it was worth it. It was worth every bit of it, even the long trip. It was a long trip on the airplane, but it was worth it too.
Yeah, how long are we talking here?
Whoa. Well, we left on the 10th. We got there, I think, on the 12th.
Yeah, well,
but
you go ahead in time several times, yeah.
So it was an 8-hour layover in Amsterdam. And so it was long, but it was worth it. It was really worth it. It was worth every bit of it. And I got my this bracelet there.
Oh, how beautiful! Yeah.
And I got this ring there.
It looks almost there's angst. Now there is a word for this. It's not silver.
This is silver.
It's silver.
And silver, and they coated it with black. Something black, but my skin is taking the black off.
There is something.
Yeah. I don't know what it's called.
It's another word for that.
Okay.
I wasn't going to call it silver. I can't remember.
But see, inside is silver.
Look. Hold it so they can. They can share it. It's just a beautiful piece. It's not pewter either, but it's just some and then this is the ring. It's a scarab.
And this is the silver ring that I bought.
It's a scarab.
Yeah, a scarab, which represents a beetle, which represents good luck. And this represents like the weed in our thing. And then that's Nefer. I can't see it too well right now, but right here is Nefertiti. Now, one of the things I found which was interesting, the guide told me, my daughter's name is Nefertari, one. The other woman's name is Nefertiti, and so she thought it was the same, and he said, no. Nefertiti means one coming to Egypt.
Right.
Nefertari means most beautiful one in Egypt. So there's a difference, which people don't know. So it was a wonderful, wonderful trip. I met wonderful people.
A lot of people speak English?
The ones we met, but then we went to the tourist area. When we went away from the tourist area, our guide had to speak for us. Because they did not, most of them did not speak English.
Guides even speak for you, you see what I mean?
He spoke for us. He'd go tell them what we wanted. We'd tell him, and then he'd tell them in their language. Moses was the camel, 2 of them. But the one that my daughter Debbie was on had his own personality. She said he was nasty.
He was. I saw the video.
He didn't want to get up. He didn't want to get up anybody on him, and then I think he was either old, tired, lazy, or just didn't want nobody riding him.
He was
done
with it, yeah.
Because he's, I guess they spit. The camel spit some, and he did. You know, just spit when they're upset a little bit. But he's probably tired from riding these Americans.
Yeah. So it was
But they had a wonderful time too. But I can't tell you how appreciative I was of everyone alive and departed that we called on them all to help us make it. It just went boom, 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 boom. It just was beautiful. Beautiful time. And we could have been because it was Ramadan where people are fasting and we didn't see some parts of people that we might have seen. Because when you're hungry, you can't get upset too much.
I don't know. When I'm hungry, I'm mean. And I
well,
get
not when you're doing it for fasting, though.
Well,
not when you're doing it for a religious reason.
Yeah, but when I'm hungry, I'm just not a nice person.
But most of them were pretty nice when we went in. The shopkeepers were nice. We didn't run into any of them that weren't. And we went to a perfumery where they actually make the perfume.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. And I bought some.
It's a place in Slovan, California. I'm not sure what the street is. There's a shop like that, and you go in there and you tell them anything even similar to what you want, they will make it for you.
Yes, that's what it was.
It is just wonderful how they do that.
And the beautiful glass bottles that they put it in. I broke mine just last month, one of them. But I got quite a bit of little perfumes. And the thing there, they use mostly oil.
Oils.
And that's what was nice. It wasn't cologne.
Yeah.
It was perfume, and they evidently get the flowers or whatever the smells are, and they put into the oil.
Essential oils. Yeah.
And Mr. Kamal, he knew quite a few people who owned them. And in one, you can see evidently that people who have quite a bit of money come because they have little seats for them, and they also had food, and they served people. It's beautiful. It was a beautiful place. I didn't get pictures there at all.
Coffee and tea. And
they served us coffee and tea. And another thing they gave us at the shop that I don't know if it showed the shop here this time. Was the shop in the picture?
Well, the only thing was there was
not the papyrus one, but the one where we went in the shop with the things they sell for tourists. Well, the gentleman served us hibiscus tea.
Did he?
It was strong, but it was very good. Very good. Wherever we went to buy something, they usually served us hibiscus tea. Hibiscus tea. It was very good.
You went to Montana?
Oh yes, I did. I just about 2 weeks ago I went to Montana.
2 weeks.
And I've never been to Montana, and I've been through it, but never stopped and went to Kalispell. And I went there for some work, to do some work for a fair. And I just gonna say I landed on what I think is one of the most beautiful spots that I've ever been, and I've been a lot of places. But that spot was the most beautiful energy I ever saw. It belonged to a woman, and it was up in the hills, and you could see a panoramic view of the valley down maybe 14, 20 miles away. Then you couldn't see Glacier Peak because they had 27 forest fires in Montana, and the smoke covered most of the hills. But if on a clear day, you probably could have. But it was
That's why they call it Big Sky Country.
Oh, well, see, I didn't know because I've never really been to Montana before.
We drove through there and it snowed when we left your house.
They have a lot of snow.
Yeah,
it's cold.
Actually, one of the reasons I said that, we're going to take you to some of the trips that we took, and from Washington to Montana, and so that worked right in there. Do you feel that? Let me rephrase that. A lot of people feel that going out of country or going to places like that is a luxury or it's a vacation. Do you come in that category?
It didn't seem like a vacation to me. It seemed like I said, it seemed like a dream. I mean, I actually had to think, am I really here? Because I'd been wanting to be there for so many years.
For so many years, yeah.
So it didn't feel like a vacation. It was just like being at home, but a home where you dreamed about being for so many years that you couldn't believe that you're even there.
No, the only place I feel like that at is at Kanashibushan in
Oh, where's that?
on the Navajo reservation.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
It's part of my journey, the journey of my life. So no matter what I do, I'm always gonna try to
Get back
go back there because there is a piece of me that needs to be whole or something.
Well, that's where I feel about Egypt. I mean, I don't know if I'll get there every year, but if I could, I would.
You would. So it's just part of your journey. So
Just
it's
part
not
of
a
a journey.
luxury
No,
and
it didn't seem like a luxury to me at all.
like a normal thing.
It's just something that happened that was like a miracle. It seemed like a miracle.
Miracle. Okay.
Yeah.
What's next for you, my friend?
I'm not sure.
Oh, that's good.
Because, you know, my astrological thing, Saturn's in my chart right now, squaring my sun, and I might be anywhere, any place, doing anything.
At
so
any
right now,
time.
I'm here
Yeah.
to tell you I'm flexible.
Cool, yeah. So, well, maybe we could get you to go with us next year, you know?
Yeah, I just don't know where it's going to take me.
Yeah, we've been
I feel good about where
trying
I'm
to
going.
do that, yeah. I would
really
invite
feel good.
everybody to your party, but maybe not.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to have a
You're
70th
gonna be
birthday party.
70.
Right, I'm going to be 70. Wow. It's wonderful. I'm so excited about it, like I was
Yeah.
about 50.
Yeah, so life is starting.
Yeah, again.
Yeah.
Again. And I feel it. I feel it in my bones. I just feel it in the air. I just feel like something exciting's getting ready to happen on the rest of the journey.
And so we're kind of really glad that you came back down this way. And
Thank you for inviting me. You know, I just love.
Yeah, in next week or so, we're going to tape the prediction shows for 2004 and things like that. And just to remind you, you know, as a whole, don't be so focused on what it is you think you have to do.
Yes.
Just kind of go with the flow
Just
sometimes.
go with the flow, because it's really nice when you do. Sometimes you'll be surprised what happens, and who you'll meet, and what'll happen.
So next time you go, you are going to get on that camel, right?
Yes, because that ride on that horse in that buggy was the roughest ride I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Because we're going over stones up to the pyramids, a lot of stone, and I didn't expect stone.
Yeah.
I expected sand that I saw in pictures.
On pictures.
But it was stony
Yeah.
and rocky, and that buggy
Yeah.
was one of those old wooden wheels. You noticed that, right? Oh, whoa. It was rough. I'm going on the camel because I think it'll be an easier seat.
Be easier.
I think so.
So I'm just really excited that we was able to save some of the.
Oh, I am glad we were able to save some for them to see. I wish they could have saw more.
Yeah, so.
Because it was a wonderful journey. I'd like to
No,
take them with me a little more.
I have a copy for those of you that come to my house. We'd be very happy to share it with you, but it's a bumpy road.
It was bumpy. It was pretty bumpy, up and side down, whatever. Sometimes, yeah.
I need to make an announcement real quick. Bob White has his convention in November. Give me a call about it. It is in Missouri. You said maybe you'll try to make it.
I want to go,
and
yes.
I'll give you the details. I
Yes.
don't have them with me, but just to remind you, Daryl Sims, Peter Davenport, Dr. Jordan, Dr. Gibbons, so quite a few people there, and keep track of where we need to go, you know, and our journeys, now they're liable to change from one day to the next. So.
Just be flexible, enjoy it.
And take a jacket when you go to Egypt. It gets cold.
If you go in November, because it gets cold on that water, and in the evening it got cool. You don't need a heavy jacket, but just a nice light jacket made it very nice.
And people at the airport were courteous.
Which airport? The SeaTac or the one at Cairo? I didn't know I had to pay for the video. And I had to, I didn't know I had to get a slip from them to be able to take the video into Cairo, but I did. I didn't pay, but I had to go get a slip. But if you want to photograph anything in the museum in Cairo,
You need permission.
there is a fee.
Yeah.
There's a fee, and you cannot use regular
Yeah.
cameras. You can
Yeah.
use a video or a special kind, but not regular cameras.
On that note, I hear music. I think we're ready. Are we ready to go already? No, we're not. We are. Oh my goodness, timelines.
Oh, funny, aren't they?
Different realities. I'm
Yeah.
glad you're here. Thanks for sharing it. We'll see you next week. And we'll see you next week.
Later.
Boy, that went fast, huh? Yeah. So some of these things are
That is
just so
beautiful. That's so nice.